the time that they headhunted me, I was really scared actually, because there I was in a full-fledged Islamic bank, having the comfort that the full management, the management and the board as well as the shareholder of Bank Islam are fully committed to Islamic finance. That is their core business. And here is CIMB, that is predominantly a conventional bank, now all of a sudden wants to hire an Islamic banker and do Islamic capital market in a little unit called Islamic Capital Market Unit in Corporate Finance Division at that time. Of course, no matter, though I was scared, it took me only 2 days to decide to join and accept CIMB's offer. And the reason why I was fairly quick to accept was because there's so much that I can do in Bank Islam for the industry, because Bank Islam is only a small bank. I can only do as much as the bank can do. Okay? But CIMB, because they control practically the capital market in Malaysia, I could do a little bit more. And they control 40-50% of the primary market, they control 40% of the secondary market. So it was easy for me to decide that I should be in CIMB, but it was very scary decision, because I do not know whether when I go into CIMB they will respect my condition. I give CIMB a condition just like I give Bank Islam a condition, that I will only do Islamic. If you ask me to do conventional, I will resign. Okay. And at the same time, as the headhunting came in from CIMB, Bank Islam transferred me to Kuala Lumpur. So I have promised to the board that I will resign if they transfer me. So it made my decision to join CIMB very easy. So on the day that I reported for duty in Kuala Lumpur, I tendered my resignation, because I have to keep my word. I already said that I'm going to resign. It just so happened that I also got an offer from CIMB lah. So make it very natural, kan? So I joined CIMB as a manager in the Islamic Capital Market Unit, reporting to a chap called Augustin Chong, who in turn reported to the head of corporate finance, Loh Shai Wing. And the first deal that I went in CIMB, I have my ultimate boss at that time, Loh Shai Wing, selling Islamic finance to the customer, and then after that go to lunch. Then all of a sudden he opened his bag, he sells wine for charity. So this, after doing an Islamic finance deal with the client, and then while having lunch, well, would you like to buy wine for my charity? It's like it was a total culture shock. It was so me being me, of course I told him off. My first day on the job, I told off my big boss, this is not something that you should do when you are doing Islamic finance. Of course he listened, and he did not do it again, because I was right. He probably did it when I was not around lah, but whenever I'm around, he doesn't do it. And then on the in the first week, at the end of the first week that I was in CIMB, I got a call from Datuk Nazir. Of course, he was not Datuk Nazir at that time lah. I got a call from his secretary saying that he wants to see me. Of course, I panicked, because I was not interviewed by him. I have not met him at any point of time other than the time where we cross each other at Guthrie office. So I asked my boss, Augustine, why is he calling me? Did I do something wrong? Augustine also did not know, so he also panicked and went to Shai Wing. Why is he calling me? Then Shai Wing advised, Alex, he called, so go ahead. Yeah, go have a meeting. I could have gone straight to see Datuk Nazir at that time without telling my boss that he called. But if I had gone directly, then I would have created suspicion on the part of my boss that I'm overstepping them. Okay? So because I asked, it put them in the same situation as I am, not knowing. And then when Shai Wing said go ahead, he gave me the blessing. So I do not have any problem with them for going to see their boss without their knowledge. Okay? So I went to see Nazir, very of course nervous. He sat down, and the first question he asked me, what do you think of how we are running our Islamic business? And true to my disastrous, blatant remarks, I can't be anybody else. I have to be myself. So the first word that came out of my mouth was, and straight to his face, it's pathetic. Again, the moment the word came out, I was actually kicking myself in the head. And he was quiet for a whole minute. He was quiet for a whole minute. There I was sitting in front of him, thinking that I've done something terribly wrong. And then after 1 minute, he asked me the second question. So how should we do it? And that was the question that led to the creation of CIMB Islamic. We had a 2-hour discussion there and then on what is possible and how CIMB should change itself to be credible in Islamic finance. And at the end of the conversation, he asked me to come back with a proposal to the management on the establishment of a new Islamic franchise. And he gave me 2 weeks to come back to him with that proposal. Of course, I went back. I did not know how to say to my immediate boss at that time that their boss had just asked me to take this business away from them. Meaning I have to come up with a proposal to take out the Islamic finance business in corporate finance and put it elsewhere. I didn't know how to say it to them. So I just went back home without telling them a thing and pondered in terms of how do I strategize in such a way that I do not create enemies in my second week in CIMB. Right. So I did not really have a good sleep that night. And the next morning, I went back to the office. I sat down in front of Augustine and I said, very frank, very open, Nazir asked me to do this. I would like to have your input in terms of how I should be recommending this.